I'm certain about that. As I've always said, paper doesn't lie. Individuals do. So no.
This is a Judas public service announcement providing for the safety and well-being of your mind and body. There's that Cohen guy talking about that guy and saying, what are you going to do? You got this hot lawyer up there, someone who's geared up for all this stuff, and they've got all this information, all these people that have information, and they think they can take that to court and win. That's the way it's supposed to work, right? You're supposed to be able to believe that the evidence is enough to make things right. But the truth is, do you think that the people who make the rules for us follow those rules? Do you think they know the rules themselves? They talk about how, if somebody talks to the police without their lawyer and they didn't know that they could demand their lawyer be there, and they go ahead with the talk without the lawyer, and they use all that stuff against them, they're breaking law by omission. And it seems like they do it for themselves too. They only know the ones they can get you with. They don't know the ones they're supposed to be upholding for themselves. They do. They do. I'm wrong to say that. Can't say all of them. They're just animals with a badge, I mean, you want evidence? Look at this stuff. Look at this stuff. Wicked Takes the Witness Stand. That's a Marty Link book. It's about the Tobias murders in '86 in Gaylord when I was a high school senior. Funny, they could have put me in jail. They could have put me in jail so easily because I was out on the streets that night. I'd been pulled over, and the way they pulled in people and said they were here or there or that, even if they couldn't have been there, and just don't listen to anything, they could have had me. I never heard of the guy. That's what you get from all these people that are defendants in this case. Either I barely knew him, or they say, they don't know her, this prosecuting witness, this Deborah Parmentier woman who is a maniac and just said whatever she wanted to get people's attention. She was one of these people that could bullshit you like no other. Like the one lawyer said, one of the 5 lawyers, 4 to 5, he said, I was in a quandary, basically. I knew that what she was saying up there wasn't true, but she was so believable. And how could somebody that's so ludicrous, with all these changing stories, blowing up an island and nobody seems to notice that lives on the lake, supposedly blew up an island, it's ludicrous, but believable. He had a problem with that. And here's the way they work. Here's how they keep anybody that they're using from being able to help. They use them to hurt. They won't allow this person they're using to help the person that they're hurting. This one woman, she just got back from Florida, and the woman said, Debbie, and she said, yeah, she was there too. All of a sudden, right in the middle of a trial, a new witness, because this Debbie woman was becoming too erratic for the jury. It was looking good on the third fucking guy getting put in prison for a minute. And they decide they're getting this woman. And she's in Florida, and she has evidence she was working that night. And all this new evidence, all this stuff that's coming in, they don't share with the defense team, which is the law. You have to. And so the defense is going in blind, not being able to use the truth. And she got back from Florida. She was working the night the murder occurred. The hours are just, they don't jive. You know, everything in that town, they act like, you know, whatever it is. And this girl's parents, when they had her in jail, the witness, they put her in jail threatening her. And they went to visit her in the Emmett County jail. And they got turned away. They said, no visitors. And then it says here, there's a good chance they passed Ray McNeil somewhere on their way. Ray McNeil was the attorney for the defense. He had to visit, he had to see the damn witness to see what she had to say, but they wouldn't let her in. And it's illegal to turn them away. He wanted to see her too, and made the same trip from Gaylord to Petoskey, the same first trip. I made a trip from Gaylord to Petoskey in my mother's womb on Thanksgiving Day in '69. And the first trip I made from Petoskey to Gaylord, you know, you got my homeland and my birthland right there. First trip I made from Petoskey to Gaylord after going there in the womb was out in the open. I know that road very well. The trial of his client had been halted to find her. They stopped the trial to find this woman, and McNeil could hardly mount a proper defense without knowing what she was going to say on the stand, so he made the trip on Sunday morning also, and was turned away. Later that afternoon, a friend of the defendant's went to the jail, but she was put off too. The message to the parents, the friend, and the attorney was the same: no visitors for her. The friend wrote the defendant a letter and addressed it to her in the care of Emmett County Jail. Here's writing. Here's the paper. It's got all this stuff saying how she knows she couldn't have done it. She was with her, and she remembers she didn't even know these people. You know, there's this stuff in here, and I know you're scared right now, but please don't let the cops and the prosecutor trick you into saying something that could put 4 innocent men away for the rest of their lives. I wish you could talk to Mr. McNeil. He's not going to let anything happen to you. He and the defendant only want the truth. That's what we all want. See, it's funny. It's written in a book here. It's written. It's all out in the world. But I'm hesitant to say these people's names sometimes because, well, I'm out in that world. You want to be watching your back all the time. And I always run into these people. And it says, sincerely, your friend. She sent this letter to her in jail. It's nothing. But this witness never got the letter because the jail didn't give it to her. They censored it. They keep stuff out of the witness's mind. They've got her so petrified right now. She's saying whatever she's gonna say. She says, "I'll say whatever you want." She can't even remember the stories they're trying to make her tell. But there is not letting you see your attorney. And there's that other one, Isidore's Secret, written by the same lady about the murder of a nun up there in Isidore, in Leelanau County. Same thing, 1907, 1908. The woman that killed the nun with a shovel, bang! Well, she took her out with a shovel, and then when she was burying her in the hole, it kept coming up. She, bang! Hit her in the head 3 times because she just kept coming up, and then she finally finished the job. That she had an appointed attorney, and this attorney is like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I got to go talk to her. And they wouldn't let him in. There were 2 attorneys. He came with another guy. They wouldn't let him in. They made a 7-hour journey in a buggy down the, rutted roads. What would take only 15 minutes these days took them 7 hours to get there, and they turned them away. These people, we think everything is okay in any sense of what goes on with the law and politics in our lives, because we see things happening to people that we think are bad. But when you see the bottom line of it, these people aren't any worse than any one of us all. On an individual basis, if you're seeing it firsthand, it seems they just throw away the laws that they're writing. This whole society is based upon the idea that there is some order. But as we've seen lately, more and more, there's less and less. And it's not that there's less, it seems like there's less and less. We see through history. This is 100 years different, these 2 books, and it's the same things going on. Everybody's hiding everything, and they're in there too, right there. People came in to talk to the cops and tell them, and the cops are like, nope, we got everything we need. We know everything. We got everything we need. They won't even allow somebody to come in and try and share something that could save everybody a lot of trouble. The time alone spent in court, We believe that this is sacred. We've had that pushed down our throats for so long. It's whatever they want it to be at the time. And for that Cohen guy to say we got everything we need, it's really too bad, because it doesn't matter. If there were a God, the hand of God could come down and just point at somebody and say, I thought I told you, you get your shit together, you do things right. And that guy that's doing things wrong and not following the rules that he made himself, he's just going to turn away. Nobody's going to tell anybody what to think. And they're just going to buy into it all. Nothing is certain. And that's good to know. It sounds depressing, but once you start seeing the layers of everything, at least you're aware of what could happen. Makes you feel a little bit more stable, a little bit more prepared. Because to tear everything out from under you, wipe the blinders away, whatever, the veil, to see things as they are. The first time you ever do that, it can take you weeks to get around to finding a way to accept it. So take it easy. You never know what's about to happen.